I've seen them right here like this before. Get nasty right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Missed it. That one didn't. Get my raptors down. I can't tell how big he is. I never saw him. Big. Big. Slow motion jump. I like that. She's got a face full of 6-inch catwalk. I do not want to wear any of that. That was a blow up. That's awesome. Utilizing my new Lake Master premium map chip, finding these little shell bars, eating big old shad up on them. Awesome right there. Good walking bait. That's a 6-inch catwalk. Catching Lake Fork pigs. I know y'all saw that. That's fun. We're out here on Lake Fork. We're gonna get on the new Lake Master map chip, section out the lake, kind of break it down just like I would a tournament. Big one's on it, got him. I'm gonna run up shallow and throw a topwater square bill on some shallow shell bars and points. And at the same time, I'm gonna look at some offshore stuff, some pond dams, some points, and figure out where these fish are holding it. And it's hard to beat a good topwater bite this time of year. You just gotta cover water and pay attention to your mapping. It's huge, even though it's in 2 foot of water. That new Lake Master chip shows it. We're gonna catch them bigger than that today. You know, if you're new coming to Fork or somewhere like this is when it's low, the easiest thing to do would be to go to visual cover, because that's what they're gonna do. When it gets low like this, they're gonna go to the first stump instead of a dock, or the first lay down instead of some pads. You know, they're gonna go to that next piece of structure out there, or cover, you know, depending on what it is. And, you know, whether it's wood or rock or a ridge or a roadbed or something like that. See, like right now, I just fished a little point with some trees on it. And now you can see here on my Lake Master, I'm gonna idle up here. And I hadn't been out here in months, so we're just going through the motions and figuring the bite out. You know, we're gonna go to this. It's a roadbed. It shows you right here on your new Lake Master chip. Roadbed comes out, real shallow point right here. So I'm just gonna pull up, you know, put my raptors down, throw a topwater all over the top of this point, and then look at the next piece of cover like I was talking about. If there's a stump or a wood, looks like there's 2 brush piles out there or something like that. So it's this process of elimination when a lake like this is low, but it actually can make it a lot more simple. I'm kind of a sneaky guy. I think the fish get pressured, and I think you can catch those bigger fish being quiet, being silent, being stealthy, you know, so whenever I can put my raptors down, I'm gonna do it. Just like this is a shallow roadbed, you can see it coming out right here. From here, I can fish all, you know, the inside of this roadbed, all the way to the outside, and I can sit here for as long as I want, you know, whether I'm dragging a Carolina rig on it or throwing a topwater on it like I am, you know. Those raptors save my life. I use them every single day, all over the place, and I credit them to a lot of my victories too. We got a little breeze today, you know. I'm gonna throw a popping style bait or a walking style bait, unless you're throwing a buzz bait or something like that. But, you know, I like a walking bait on Fork more so than a popper. That bigger walking bait gets a little bit better bite and bigger. And these fish are pretty smart. So I think just that faster retrieve with that walking bait gets a little bit more bites. That was a gigantic bass and I missed him. Good Lord, come back, please. There he is. That's not the same one. That other one could have ate this one. Gonna get him in real quick. So you see my trolling motor's up. I've got my Minn Kota Raptors down. And I've got just a little shell bar up here, a little point with some timber on it. Throwing a walking topwater across it. It's a 6-inch catwalk. And man, the cast or two before this, I had a 7, 8, 9 pounder. I don't know how big it was, all over my topwater. That guy can get eaten up there where he's at. So this looks like clutter on my Mega Live, but that's actually all shad. You see them flicking right there. I know the camera might not show it, but there's just hundreds of thousands of shad right in here, everywhere. Whether you're in a foot of water, that's them right there. It's almost blacking me out. It's just that time of year, man. There's shad in a foot of water up there where I'm throwing, and there's some just random fish schooling out in the middle of the lake. The shad get up off the bottom, the oxygen content gets weird when this lake starts turning over, and that's when I like to pick up a topwater and cover water up shallow, you know. Whether you're on the biggest schools or not, probably not, but it's the catchable fish. You know, it's those fish that are up there on those shale beds or those road beds or those little hard clay spots where they're ambushing these shad that are coming across. You know, everything just out in the open that's schooling, they don't sit still because these shad are just constantly moving. So out here on the right where the drop is on this point, it's just a ton of shad. It looks like fish, but they are fish. It's a bunch of gizzard shad, threadfin shad, just tons of groups like this. A lot of times out deep on Lake Fork and other lakes around this area, your fish will start setting up later in the day, or they should. You know, those bait fish are using it for the same reason the bass are using it. You know, it's just the right little setup that they want right now, right on the side of a point, you know, right before a big saddle connects to a big pond dam. And so don't always just fish bait, but if there's no fish with it, come back and check it and see. You know, a lot of times when there's that much bait, there aren't any bass, and you'll come back and that bait will be gone, and there'll be a few bass, and there'll be more bass and more bass and more bass. Whatever it is right here to our right. Can't see it, can y'all? There he is. Oh, it's two. I got two of them. Nope. Yep, I got two of them. Look at that. Look at all of them behind it. Oh my God, look at all that. One came off. I only got one now. Oh man, look at all of them. Ha! Had a double. Did y'all see that? I had a double on, and there was two more trying to get it out of their mouth. Almost had a quad. Has anybody ever caught a quad? That was cool. Ate a shad or a brim or something. Catwalk doing work. That was super cool. I had two of them on there, and they came off. The other one came off. He was sitting there fighting against this one forever. You see right here, it's just kind of flat on the side, and big fish come out of this standing timber to our right and off the main lake out here in this deep water are just, you know, big groups of mussel, you know, clams that get up on these shallow bars. Like here's a big point right here on my lake master. Man, all this is shell. And it's just a hard spot. It's a dinner table, you know. You don't like going to your house and sitting out in the yard in the mud and eating dinner. You know, you want to sit at the dinner table. You know, it's the same thing right here. We have really hard clay here at Lake Fork, Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend. That's where those shells like to be. You know, those shells will get up here, you know, just a hard group of shell where the shad like to feed on the algae and the plankton that are around the shells and the clams. And the bass are just like us. They want to eat on our dinner table. And those little shell beds are just little dinner tables for them to eat shad or brim or yellow bass, barfish, whatever they're eating. It's just a little hard spot. Good. That was a bite right there. Tell where he's wanting to go. Big old long sucker right there. He's gonna be dangerous to get off. It's like Fork bass on a topwater. You know, I got them hooked good, but you know, a lot of hooking them good is having the right setup. You know, when I'm throwing a walking bait like this, I throw it on 50-pound Sunline frogging and flipping braid. I throw it on a Halo HFX 7-foot medium cranking rod. It's real parabolic. You saw that fish when I was fighting, it was bending like crazy. And you know, sharp Gamakatsu hooks. That's a 6-cents catwalk topwater. That's a big old bass. When it's tough this time of year, you know, it's hard to beat just going up shallow, you know, putting your Raptors down, Minn Kota Raptors down, and throwing a big walking bait. That's a beautiful Lake Fork bass right there.